I would say Leviticus is probably one of the most skipped books or misunderstood books in the Bible. It may feel repetitive, detailed, and honestly hard to follow. But what if it's actually one of the most important books in the Bible, in the entire story? Because Leviticus is asking a question we still wrestle with today. How do imperfect people live with a holy God? In Exodus, God brought his people out of Egypt. He delivered them, he freed them, he rescued them. But Leviticus shows us something deeper. Freedom gets them out, but Leviticus teaches them how to live with God now that he's with them. Because being close to God isn't just about leaving something behind, it's about learning how to walk with him. And that's key. And of course, we know Leviticus is a book in the Old Testament. So this is some of the things that I pulled out. And of course, not everything is relevant for today. So when you read, just read, have an open mind, always research, correct interpretation, things like that. And I have a lot of shorts on my channel explaining correct interpretation. So you want to go back and start at Genesis. That's where I started at a couple months ago, and we just bring it on up into Leviticus. It may make a little more sense. So the big problem, where the tension begins, God is holy and the people are not. We're talking about the children of Israel. But somehow God chooses to dwell among them. So the question becomes, how does a holy God stay close to imperfect people without destroying them or ignoring their brokenness? Leviticus is the answer to that question. And I'm just going to go through a few themes that stood out to me. But just follow along with me. Have an open mind and an open heart. The first major theme is holiness. God tells them, be holy because I am holy. Now, holiness doesn't just mean perfection. It means being set apart, different, intentional, reflecting who God is. So Leviticus isn't just about rules, it's about identity. It's about learning how to live in a way that reflects God in everyday life. So again, the be holy because I am holy, for I am holy, however you've heard it. I heard that growing up, and I grew up in what people would call a holiness or Pentecostal church environment. So I couldn't wear pants, lipstick, makeup, earrings, all of that. And so much of that growing up from how people believed it came, some of that came from the Old Testament. So it wasn't really used in proper context. And so it's like, hey, you have on a long skirt, that means you're holy. That isn't necessarily true. So again, when we read this, we keep an open mind and an open heart and realize that not everything applies to us today. We just have to know what the overall point is. That's how I believe. Feel free to drop your thoughts and comments in the comment section. So the second theme that stood out to me, sacrifice and atonement. We see all these sacrifices in Leviticus. It's very interesting to read. Some might call it a hard read, but it's eye-opening. Burnt offerings, sin offerings, guilt offerings, and at first it can feel overwhelming, very overwhelming. But these weren't random rituals. They were a system that showed something important. Brokenness has a cost, but God makes a way for restoration. The sacrifices weren't about punishment, they were about access, a way for people to come back into relationship with God. So when you're going through Leviticus, keep that in mind. I mean, it's very interesting going through, I believe someone said it's over 600 rules that the children of Israel had to follow. And so if we try to live by all of those live by all of those rules, we would actually have to live by each and every last rule, commandment that's in the Old Testament. And if you actually read it and try to understand it, we can't do all of that. It's impossible. Very interesting though. Theme 3, the Day of Atonement. Okay, so we get to the center of Leviticus, the Day of Atonement. Once a year, everything stopped. The priest would enter the most holy place, the Holy of Holies, and the sin of the people would be dealt with in a complete way, not ignored, not pushed aside, but addressed fully. It was a moment of reset, a moment of restoration, because God doesn't ignore brokenness, He provides a way through it. Again, very interesting to see how the children of Israel had to sacrifice this, a lamb, a bull, a dove, depending on how much, well, what you had. If you couldn't afford XYZ, then you could bring something else. And it was just trying to address sin and staying close to God. And it's when you, of course, move to the New Testament, it's amazing how, and it's grateful. I'm grateful that things are no longer that way. Theme 4, clean and unclean. Okay, so now we have this idea of clean and unclean. And this isn't just about physical cleanliness, it's about teaching people something deeper, that not everything is compatible with the presence of God. So these laws created awareness. They helped people see the difference between what draws them closer to God and what pulls them away. And again, it's very interesting from way back in the day, over 2,000 years ago, what the children of Israel had to do to consider themselves or to make themselves clean, and what would happen if they were considered unclean. Like women, for that time of the month, they had to stay away from the camp for a while, and even longer for some things. And I mean, we just really can't do all of that, but it's just interesting to read it and then understand why they had to do that. So theme 5, worship as a lifestyle. So Leviticus doesn't stop at worship in the temple. It expands into everyday life, how they treat each other, how they handle justice, how they live in community. Because in Leviticus, worship isn't just a moment, it's a lifestyle. Faith isn't separated from life, it shapes it. I can't get over saying it's very interesting. If you kill someone, you accidentally kill someone, there's when you read Leviticus, I don't want to give away everything because you definitely need to read it. You accidentally kill someone, certain things had to happen. If you did something on purpose, something else happened. I mean, you were allowed to kill other people. So, of course, again, we're living in a different day and time, but it's interesting to read about all of that. So just keep an open mind and an open heart when you're reading that, and just, again, know and realize that you cannot do this stuff in today's society. It's the over, what was God, what was the intention of all of that for the children of Israel back then? And throughout all of this, we see a few key roles. Moses acts as the mediator, communicating between God and the people. Aaron and the priests serve as representatives, standing before God on behalf of the people. And the people themselves are learning, sometimes slowly, how to live in this new reality with God among them. So, and that's interesting to read too. Moses and Aaron, who could come before God, who couldn't, the types of sacrifices. Aaron's sons, they offered up, I can't remember the names. I'm gonna get them wrong, but it's very interesting names in Leviticus. But they fell dead right there. They offered up something that they weren't supposed to offer up. And God dealt with it right then and there, and it cost them their life. So when you read again, just the overall theme, the overall picture, God delivered them out of Egypt. Now, hey, this is relationship with me. This is how I want you to live as the children of Israel, as my people. So when you step back, Leviticus isn't just a book of rules. It's about relationship. It's about a holy God choosing to stay close to imperfect people and teaching them how to live in that closeness without being consumed by it. So there is a modern application, because even today, this tension still exists. We still want closeness with God, but we still wrestle with how to live it out. We still need restoration. We still need guidance. We still need grace. So Leviticus isn't just ancient history, it's a part of a bigger story, a story about God forming a people, not just freeing them, a story that doesn't stop here and doesn't stop with us, because the journey continues. Of course, within the next week and a half, I'll be moving on to, what is that, Deuteronomy. So pulling out some things. Hopefully you're getting something from the things I'm pulling out. Again, I'm going through the entire book of the Bible. So However long that takes, that's how long it takes. But I hope you find the relevance in these videos. Let me know your thoughts. Drop them in the comment section. Thank you for being on this journey with me. Stay tuned. Go back, look at some of the other shorts and long form videos from Genesis, Exodus, and now Leviticus. Until next time, take care. God bless.